My name is Rosalind Beauchamp. Everyone calls me Ros. I am 78 years old. I live outside Asheville, North Carolina. I taught high school English for 24 years and spent another 8 running curriculum development for the school district, which is a fancy way of saying I spent my career thinking carefully about what stories we tell and why, and what those stories cost us when we believe them without examining them. I want to talk today about a story a lot of women my age have been told so many times they've mistaken it for a moral principle. The story goes like this. A good mother saves. A good grandmother preserves. A good woman does not spend lavishly on herself when that money could go to her children. Spending your retirement on your own comfort, your own health care, your own travel, your own joy, that is selfish. That is irresponsible. That is taking something that doesn't belong to you. I believed that story for longer than I'm proud of. And then my husband died, and I was 71 years old, and I sat with the math, and I realized something. That story was not protecting my children. It was costing me my life. I want to be clear about what I am and what I'm not. I am not a financial advisor or an estate attorney. The practical steps I'm going to share today, the tools, the legal structures, those require a professional who knows your specific situation, your state's laws, your family's particulars. What I am is a 78-year-old woman who examined the story, did the math, hired the professionals, and made a different choice. Today I'm going to walk you through how I thought about it. Before I give you the practical part, the numbers, the legal tools, the conversation to have, I want to name what this guilt actually is. Because once you see where it comes from, it loses most of its power. The expectation that senior women should preserve wealth for their heirs is not a timeless moral truth. It is a cultural inheritance of its own, one built on several layers that are worth examining. The first layer is the equation of a woman's value with her usefulness to others. A woman who spends her money on herself is failing to provide. She is not being generous enough, not sacrificing enough, not putting others first enough. The discomfort many women feel when they spend money on themselves in retirement is the same discomfort women have been taught to feel whenever they prioritize their own needs. It did not originate in financial wisdom. It originated in a long tradition of female self-erasure dressed up as virtue. The second layer is the economic reality of 2026. Adult children, people in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, are facing housing costs, inflation, and financial precarity that their parents' generation did not face at the same age. The great wealth transfer, the trillions of dollars expected to pass from the older generation to the next, has become for many families something adult children are quietly planning around, not out of malice, out of genuine need and genuine anxiety and the very human tendency to begin counting on something before it has been given. And into that economic anxiety, senior women bring their lifelong habit of putting others first, and the result is an unspoken negotiation in which grandmother quietly doesn't hire the aide, doesn't take the trip, doesn't upgrade the healthcare plan, because somewhere in the back of her mind is the awareness that the money she spends is money someone else won't receive. My daughter called the trip to Portugal irresponsible. I was 73. My husband had been dead for 2 years. I was taking a 10-day trip with my college roommate. The word she used was irresponsible. I want to name what that word was doing. It was not a financial analysis. It was the story speaking through my daughter's mouth, doing what the story does, reasserting the claim that my money's highest purpose was its eventual transfer to her. She did not know she was doing that. She is not a bad person. She was operating from an assumption she had never examined, in a culture that had never asked her to examine it. I examined it, and then I went to Portugal. Here's where the math comes in, because this is not just an emotional argument, it is a financial one. And the numbers may surprise you. If you spend your retirement years in financial self-restriction, deferring the home aid, avoiding the better healthcare plan, skipping the travel, declining the things that make your days worth living, where does that deferred spending go? Some of it gets preserved and eventually transferred to heirs, but a significant portion of it goes somewhere else entirely, to your health. Women who delay care, who avoid spending on the in-home support that would keep them independent, who defer the medical attention that good healthcare coverage provides, those women pay the deferred cost later with interest in the form of emergency interventions, hospitalizations, and the accelerated need for the expensive institutional care they were trying to avoid triggering. Write this down. The average cost of assisted living in the United States is over $50,000 per year. Memory care averages over $100,000 per year. In-home aid services, the kind that keep you in your own home, independent, on your own terms, average between $25 and $30 per hour for a home health aide. Run that math for your situation. If you need 20 hours a week of in-home support to stay safely in your home, that is roughly $2,500 a month. 24 years of that, which would take you to age 102, is just over $700,000. That is a significant number. It is also, for most women, the difference between staying in their home and going into institutional care, which costs twice as much and removes the independence entirely. I am not a storage unit for generational wealth. I said that out loud for the first time at 74, sitting across from my estate planning attorney. I want to be there for my children. I love them. I also looked at the numbers, and I looked at what a well-funded, well-supported, truly independent later life looks like versus what a self-restricted one looks like, and the choice was not complicated. The women I know who are living well at 78, 82, 87, the ones who are sharp and present and genuinely happy, are not the ones who saved the most for their children. They are the ones who invested in their own health, their own stimulation, their own connection to the world. They spent on the things that kept them capable and engaged. That spending did not diminish them. It is the reason they are still themselves. Here is the practical part. Because clarity about the principle matters, but without structure, clarity doesn't protect you. The first thing I want you to do is schedule 2 appointments. One with a fee-only financial advisor. Fee-only means they are paid by you, not by commission on products they sell you. And one with an estate planning attorney. Before you go, write down one question to bring to each of them. Is my current plan designed around my needs or around what I might leave behind? That question will tell you a great deal about whether your current financial and estate plan is actually serving you. The second thing, and this is where I want you to spend some real time, is to calculate your realistic care cost exposure. Not the optimistic scenario where nothing changes and you stay perfectly healthy until 93. The realistic scenario. What does in-home care cost in your area? What does assisted living cost within 50 miles of where you want to be? What would memory care cost if you needed it? Most women who do this math discover one of 2 things. Either they have more than they thought, and they have been living in unnecessary restriction, or they discover that the preserved inheritance they've been protecting is in fact their own emergency care fund, and it needs to be structured as such rather than sitting unprotected. The legal tool I want you to ask your estate planning attorney about is a revocable living trust with explicit provisions that fund your own care first, not eventually, first. A trust document that names your health care, your housing, your daily support, and your quality of life as the primary purpose of your assets, with distributions to heirs coming from whatever remains, if anything remains, after your needs are fully met. This matters for a specific reason. It removes the conversation from the realm of family dynamics. When your spending is governed by a trust document rather than by informal family expectation, you are not being selfish. The document is doing its job. The terms were set by you with legal counsel when you were clear-headed and uninfluenced by anyone's financial anxiety but your own. If there is already tension in your family around your spending, if you have felt the quiet pressure, heard the comments, navigated the looks, ask your attorney about naming a professional fiduciary or a non-family trustee to manage distributions. A professional fiduciary has no financial stake in how much you spend on yourself. Their job is to honor the terms of your trust. They are, in the best possible sense, on your side and only your side. I want to say something about this clearly because I know it sounds cold to some people. It is not cold, it is honest. When family members have a financial interest in the outcome of your financial decisions, they are not neutral parties. They love you, and they are also not neutral. A professional fiduciary is neutral. That neutrality is protective, and it is kind to you and to them. There is one thing I want to address directly, because I hear it every time I talk about this, and it sounds like a solution, and it is worth examining carefully. The reassurance many women offer themselves and their adult children is, "I'll leave them the house," the home that's paid off, the asset that has appreciated, the thing that will be there at the end, regardless of what else gets spent. I want you to talk to your estate planning attorney about this specifically, because the picture is more complicated than it appears. Real estate passed through an estate is subject to your state's probate process, which can be slow and costly. A home that requires maintenance, property taxes, and insurance during the estate administration period costs money before it generates any. And depending on your state, the home may be subject to Medicaid estate recovery if you received any Medicaid-funded care, meaning the state may have a claim on the house before your children do. None of this means you cannot or should not leave your home to your children. It means the "I'll leave them the house" reassurance deserves the same professional scrutiny as every other part of your plan, and it should not be the thing that justifies current self-restriction, because its actual value to your heirs is more variable than it appears from the living room. My children are not bad people. The discomfort they felt about my spending came from their own anxiety, their own assumptions, and a culture that had told them since childhood that grandmother's money was in some eventual sense part of the family's shared future. I understand that. I do not blame them for it. I also named it out loud once in a clear and loving conversation, and told them that I had restructured my finances to ensure my own care and comfort were funded first, and that I loved them, and there might or might not be an inheritance, and I needed them to be okay with that. That conversation was uncomfortable for about 45 minutes. It has not needed to happen again. The trust document handles what the conversation established. This is her money for her life on her terms. Here is what I want you to walk away with today. Not a permission slip. You don't need one from me or from anyone. A clearer picture of what your money is actually for. It is for your health care. The good kind. The kind that returns your call the same day, that catches things early, that doesn't require you to sit in a waiting room for 4 hours and leave with nothing resolved. It is for your independence. The aide who comes 3 days a week so you stay in your home. The grab bars that are actually installed, not just considered. The modifications that mean you don't have to ask your children for help with the things you'd rather handle yourself. It is for your aliveness. The trip, the class, the concert, the dinner out with the friend who makes you laugh. the things that make the days feel like living rather than waiting. Your children's financial futures are their responsibility. Yours is yours. Loving them does not require you to disappear into fiscal self-denial so they can inherit more. You can love them fully and completely, and also decide that your money is for your life. There is a print above my desk. I bought it the week I booked the Portugal trip. It says, "A ship in harbour is safe, but that is not what ships are for. You were not built to sit in harbour until someone else takes you apart for parts. You were built to move. The money you have is the wind. Use it. Schedule those 2 appointments. Do the math on your real care costs. Ask the attorney about a trust that funds your life first. Have the conversation with your children, once, clearly, with love, and then let the document do the rest of the talking." If this found you today, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. And subscribe. I have more of these every week.